The Prediction Markets Are Gambling Act aims to clarify commodity markets are not casinos, in their words, and would officially ban sports-style betting. Joining us right now are the authors of the legislation, Democratic Senator Adam Schiff and Republican Senator John Curtis. And gentlemen, welcome to both of you. Why don't we talk a little bit about where you all see eye to eye and why on this? And Senator Curtis, why don't you talk about your concern with access to these markets in your state of Utah?
Well, thank you. And first of all, let me say we're not banning sports betting. We're just simply putting it in the right places to be regulated. And one of those places is in the state. And as you alluded to, Utah does not allow gambling in any form. So it's one of the things that's real important to me is that we don't take this control away from Utah.
And Senator Schiff, you are concerned with what the CFTC has been doing with this. We've spoken with the CFTC chairman, Mike Selig. He does seem to be putting it out there that this is legalized and they are going to be protecting this because they say that these are futures contracts.
Well, it's interesting because I asked the chairman about this during his confirmation hearings. Did he have a position on whether these contracts were gambling or sports betting? He said he didn't, that he was a tabula rasa, that he was going to leave it to the courts. But we're seeing something very different with him actively intervening to support these prediction markets, notwithstanding that they're really indistinguishable from sports betting. And in California, we don't allow sports betting. It ought to be up to the states to decide what kind of gambling goes on within their state. This kind of end run around the law is encouraging vast amounts of gambling. We saw $1 billion of trading in prediction contracts just over the Super Bowl alone. That's something that ought to be decided state by state and not decided for them by this industry.
Is part of the problem that this revenue, even if it's legalized, if sports gambling is legalized in a state, the revenue doesn't go back to the state if it's going through these prediction markets like it might in some other situations too?
Well, I would say revenue is a piece of it, but a much larger piece is who should be regulating this, where that authority lies. I think we both feel strongly that is in the states. And going back to this prediction market and whether or not it's gambling, look, if it acts like gambling, if it talks like gambling, it is gambling, right? And that's been very clear where that belongs.
And I would add too, in addition to the concern about revenue to the state, when it is completely unregulated like this, you could have vast amounts of insider trading. People who have particular insights either because they're government officials or because they're the athletes themselves who can end up influencing the events they're betting on. We've seen reports, for example, recently that someone with 93% accuracy has been predicting what's been going on in the Iran war. That's heavily suggestive of insider trading, and when it can be done using blockchain, there's no way to really regulate that. At least it's not being regulated today, and we want to make sure that there is regulation of this.
Kelsey took the step this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to ask what could go wrong. Imagine betting on a high school athlete getting hurt the day of a high school game, right? Like that's why this needs the appropriate regulation. You could see how wrong that could go.
The Kelsey itself took steps this week to say that or maybe it was Polymarket, took steps to say that you couldn't have politicians betting on the outcome of their elections and that you couldn't have sports athletes betting on their own sports. Is that enough, that level of self-regulation, or you all think the regulatory thrust really needs to be coming from Washington?
I don't think it's enough, because it's one thing to say this is our policy. It's another actually to put into place the steps to make sure it's not happening on those platforms. You can say athletes can't bet on themselves, but if an athlete does, how will it be caught? What if an athlete's family member does? What if a government official's colleagues or family or staff bets on insider information? It's got to be more than an aspirational statement by these companies.
Let me ask you both, the big question on this, and obviously the opponents to these predictions markets are taking the fight not only through trying to influence legislators, but going through the courts too. And they have had some victories in the courts. If you want to do this, you have to pass the legislation. How much support do you have from your colleagues, both in the Senate and then in the House, if it were to make it to that point?
Well, this might be a good opportunity to use the prediction markets to bet on that. I actually think both of us feel that there's a lot of momentum on both sides of the aisle on this, and I think you're going to see further legislation, not only from us, but from our colleagues on this, to get our arms around it and make sure it's done properly.
I think that's exactly right. There's a lot of bipartisan interest and concern over this. That makes this one of those rare opportunities for the parties to get together and do something meaningful. So I'm optimistic. It shouldn't really be left to litigation. Frankly, I think the law already makes this clear, but the CFTC chairman is moving in a completely different direction of essentially unlicensed, unregulated activity here. So the Congress will need to step in.